So we went from one alien to a whole bunch of aliens back down to one alien. Huh. I mean, that's progression for you right there. To the Third Power, released in 1992, and is directed by David Fincher, who on many interviews says that he is the person who hates this film the most, which is an awesome sign when you're going into watching a movie for the first time, knowing that the director absolutely hates the movie. Gosh, it just makes me have so much confidence going into watching this thing. And this film is starring, once again, Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley, Charles S. Dutton, Lance Henriksen, and Tywin Lannister himself, Charles Dance. The escape pod from the spaceship from the previous Alien movie has been infiltrated by an alien facehugger and causes the ship to crash land on a planet that is known basically as a prison for a whole bunch of thugs, thieves, rapists, but it's also controlled by the Whaling Corporation. How convenient. And they're gonna send a team out there to take Ellen Ripley back home because they suspect that an alien seed is growing inside her. But in the meantime, another alien is walking around killing a whole bunch of people, so the prisoners must all band together to save themselves and survive against another alien home invasion. How fucking unique. We have gone back to the original Alien movie, basically. However, this time the alien is more, like, dog-like, basically. And I guess this thing went through pre-production and editing hell. Things were being cut and rearranged and removed, and some footage was being shot to throw in for a couple of, like, director's cuts to make things make a little bit more sense. The script was going through creative hell, just trying to get this thing off the ground and getting it made, which is how David Fincher was roped into it. This is his feature-length debut, so I'm sure he was just eager to direct any type of movie. I would assume that he is a huge fan of Ridley Scott and what James Cameron did with the Aliens film, so for him to have his first film be in this gigantic franchise, hell yeah. I mean, I would probably be the same way. Yeah, I'm signing on for it, absolutely. I'm gonna do it my way and it's gonna be great. And then you get this shitty-ass script and you're like, I can't do anything with this, but god damn it, I signed on for it, so let's see what we can do here. And what we get is, I wouldn't say it's god-awful and it's not terrible. It's just boring. To go from where we were with Aliens, which was all action and explosions, we have multiple aliens who are infiltrating structures, and we have this team that actually knows what they're doing when it comes to weaponry, to a whole bunch of bald prisoners who are very sexually repressed, so that Sigourney Weaver just pops on and they're like, ooh, it's a woman. Now I'm getting all tingly inside. It's a big letdown, and I would assume that fans of this franchise going out to see this movie in 1992 were also let down. And I know that there are multiple cuts of this film. There's the theatrical cut, which is like an hour and a half long. This version that I watched is 2 hours and like 25 minutes, which from my reading tells me that this is called the assembly cut. Like, this is basically the final cut when it comes to, like, if we're using Blade Runner, for example. The final cut, that's the actual director's cut, everything in place where it should have been when it was originally released. So here, the assembly cut is the same thing, I guess. Supposedly, I don't care. It was 2 hours, 25 minutes. Apparently they put in a whole bunch of, like, small scenes to help explain things and to help flush out some characters. I wish I would have seen the theatrical version, to be honest. It was just, all the stuff that they added, I didn't care about. This film felt like it was 30 minutes way too long. And I also don't like the decision, and I hate it when franchises do this, when the next entry comes along and they completely ignore or they go in a completely different direction than where the last film was setting you up for. At the end of the last film, we had Newt, we had Bishop, and then we had Kyle Reese, or at least the actor playing Kyle Reese from the Terminator films. They were all in cryogenic stasis, so they all survived. They were all going off and going back to Earth with Ripley also in cryogenic stasis. So for this film to open up and this facehugger is on there, actually multiple facehuggers, I guess it turns out, they're in there and they kill all of the other ones and they crash land this planet. It's just disappointing. And it happens a lot in a franchise when you go from one director to the next. The next director is like, hey, I appreciate everything that you did for this franchise before, but I kind of want to do my own thing. Just look what happened between Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. totally different films, went in totally different directions. The directors, the scripts didn't listen to any of the previous ones. I feel like the same thing happened here, and it just turned out to be just a trudge. This film is just boring. Plus, Ripley also has the alien inside of her for way longer than anyone else does. Everyone else gets the seed planted inside of them, and then like 20, 30 minutes later, they pop out and the guy's dead. But it's Ripley, who's been our main character for the previous two films, so we need to have her on screen for as long as possible. So let's make her have this alien inside of her for several days. Whatever. Alien to the Third Power is very forgettable. I was bored to tears. There were several times where I was checking out and I wasn't caring what was happening. I definitely see now why, when we're looking at the behind-the-scenes stuff with the Prometheus or the prequel series of the Alien films, that they're always talking about how, no, these Alien 3 and then apparently Alien Resurrection, like, those don't count. Those aren't canon. We don't want those to be canon. I can definitely see why. I'd rather have Alien vs. Predator in canon with this. I'm gonna give Alien to the Third Power 1.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
So guys, if you've seen Alien to the Third Power, or in other words, Alien 3, yes, I know, I was just being a dick, but whatever you thought, comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like this take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you'll know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.